Hi guys, Nat here, and I can't believe it's been a week since I started my iRacing journey. I thought I'd just make this video to just show some improvement and to share what I've learnt. So I'll be showing some footage, so like my first full lap and then my best lap of each of the days. I did miss one day, so there's only six actual days worth. Um, so yeah, let's jump into that. I will start off by prefacing and saying that all of my previous driving experience has been with very arcade style games. So as a kid, it was Gran Turismo. Then I moved to Xbox, where it was Forza Motorsport, Need for Speed, Grid, those kind of games, and always with a controller. And then I got a Thrustmaster T300 wheel and pedals. I was playing Forza Motorsport on PC with those. I'd not long got into playing Automobilista 2. I think I was about 20 hours in, and my wheel died. Um, it was a second-hand wheel, but luckily it was under warranty, so I got my money back for that, and I just decided to just jump all in. Now I've got the space, get a rig built. So I haven't actually done any driving at all since March. Um, and yeah, iRacing is definitely very different to anything I've played before. Plus, the load cell pedal, that takes a lot of getting used to. That feels very different. And then obviously the direct drive R12 wheelbase as well. So yeah, it's been a lot of configuration, seat adjustments, height adjustments, triple monitor alignment, button configuration. There's been a lot of setting up. Um, but yeah, what have I learned so far over this past week? Um, I think the first one is that I am not very good. So yeah, sometimes I feel like I've had a good lap, and then I look at the time and it actually hasn't been as fast as it feels. But I'm having fun, I'm getting better, and it is what it is. I know, as they say, comparison is the thief of joy. So I'm trying not to compare myself to others and just focus on my improvement and what I'm doing. So yeah, it's been a bit of a humbling experience. Next, consistency is more important than overall lap time. So I think because I've just been in like test drive and essentially hot lapping, every lap it's going around trying to get a bit faster, get a bit faster, get a bit faster. And it's just starting to realise that actually being consistent is more important. And I think now I'm at like a 1 minute 47.8 or just under. So I'm probably not going to be making significant improvements on that. So it's just trying to make sure I can be as close to that with each lap, rather than just going for the personal best every lap. Just keeping it consistent, keeping it clean, avoiding incidents. Um, with regards to pace, brakes are your friend. Now, yeah, this might sound like a bit of a weird one, but my mindset, maybe coming from the arcade games, was if you use your brake pedal, you've kind of done something wrong. Like on Forza, you can coast a lot, just lift off the gas and still make it round corners. Um, iRacing, it's a lot of listening to your tyres, and screeching tyres isn't a good thing. Um, so, yeah, it's understanding that be- braking in the corner or before a corner, it might affect your speed, but you get more traction and you can come out of that corner faster. So yeah, seeing the delta of my entry times and my mid times and then the exit times, and trying to understand what corners it's more important to get a better exit from. So like when you're going onto a long straight, obviously prioritising the exit speed. But yeah, just things like that, and understanding that was taking a bit of getting used to. Um, I did have to disable the reference car. Maybe that's just a me thing, but I noticed that when I was ahead of the reference car, I was pushing a bit harder because I knew I was potentially on for a personal best lap. So I wanted to make sure I was getting as much time as I could. But then, similarly, it was if I was too far behind the race car, the reference car, I would be trying to catch it up instead of focusing on just keeping it clean, keeping it tidy, building the consistency. So it was a bit of a distraction. So yeah, I did end up turning that off. Some curbs aren't your friend. Some curbs you can hit at high speed, have no issues. Some you can accelerate on. Others you can't, otherwise you're going to spin or you lose traction. Every curb is different. Basically, some are flat, some are rumbled, some are cambered. Don't treat them all the same. Learn which are which speeds you can hit which at, which gears needed. Yeah, I was kind of hitting them all as if they were created equally, and they're not. And again, some will be safe in the dry and the wet, some are not going to be usable in the wet, so it's a lot of trial and error and practice. Cold tyres are also not fun. I think that's something I've never really had to think about in other racing games. Maybe I should have been, and I just haven't. I'm not sure. But yeah, I've never really thought about my tyre temperatures. You just, you go all out from the start. iRacing, that's a bit different. So yeah, it takes like a lap or two to get the tyres warm, and yeah, you'll notice there's just a bit more, well, a bit less traction, more sway when you've got cold tyres, so let them warm up before pushing too hard. Um, yeah, take a deep breath. If you've had a bad lap, don't try and make the time up straight away. You give yourself time to reset, or maybe even a lap where you just try and drive clean and focused and make the time up where you can, instead of trying to force making the time up, I guess is the point. Like, sometimes you just can't make that time up on that lap, and that's okay. Just reset, refocus. Finding the best settings is a process. What works for one person might not work for another. Don't change too many things at once, because then you won't know if something's worked or not. Yeah, there's been a lot of tweaking. I'm getting to where I think I want my settings to be. But yeah, take your time, get everything set up, make small adjustments. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've learned from week one. It's been an interesting process to see, like, from my first lap to where I am now, and just seeing that I am more consistent. I mean, I do still obviously mess up and have the lap where I reset to the pits, but for the most part, my pace is within 1 second per lap, which I'm pretty happy with. Obviously, I'm trying to get a bit faster and getting that average pace faster, avoiding the incident points. But yeah, moving forward for me, I think the goals are going to be to get some AI races done so I can get used to racecraft and having the other cars on the track and having to actually pay attention to mirrors and what's going on beside me, and having to adjust my line, because obviously hot lapping, you kind of learn the fastest line, but the fastest line isn't always going to be available during the race, or you'll have to factor in overtakes and things like that. So yeah, getting some AI races in, finishing AI races with minimal incident points, and then trying to work up the AI difficulty. So I'll probably start my first race on just whatever the default iRacing settings are. See how that goes. I don't know how that's going to go. We will see. And then yeah, build from there. And then yeah, improving my average race pace, and like I say, trying to reduce those incidents, and just yeah, maybe getting enough bravery to attempt an actual online race, but we'll see. I have been using I think it's IR stats, and kind of looking at the lap times of other people and the average times, but I'm not sure what split I would be in, so it's a bit tricky to work out. Um, but yeah, I've got some eye flags. Well, I'm gonna order some eye flags probably later today for the rig, so I'll have one each side, to show me the flag statuses, and to also just blink if there's someone left or right, just to any help I can get. But I'm also trying to keep things off the screen, so I'm using Crew Chief as my spotter. Obviously got the mirrors set up with the triple monitors, but yeah, I'm trying to avoid using like the on-screen radar, just to try and keep it as immersive as I can. but we'll see how that goes. Got my sim dashboard mount, so I've got a tablet to set up to mount above my wheel, just give me some more information, because again, like I say, I'm trying to keep things off the screen. So yeah, still some things to set up. Pretty happy with the haptics pad from the one session I tried with it yesterday. I set that up using, I think it was DDF on YouTube. He created a profile and that works with the HF8 and the HF8 Pro and maybe other haptic seat cushions, I don't know. So yeah, I'll put a link to that in the description as well. Massive thank you to him for sharing that, because there's so many settings. I'd probably still be here trying to configure it today. But yeah, that definitely feels nice when you get like the rumble strip feelings and a bit of wheel slip, just to get that feedback. So the more feedback I can get, I'm enjoying having to try and make it more immersive. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I'm not sure if there's a way that I can see how many hours, because I'm not on Steam with iRacing. I'm not sure if I can see how many hours I've actually put into iRacing. Although, to be fair, some of that, a lot of it has been also spent in menus, tweaking settings or adjustments, and then also for saving replays and stuff. I need to work out a better way of getting the game footage, because at the minute I'm saving the iRacing replay and then I'm using the snipping tool to record, but for some reason, even though the setting's on to record the sound, it doesn't pull the sound through. So I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what I'm doing wrong there. So I've heard people recommend OBS. So yeah, maybe I need to look into some better ways for footage for that. So apologies that there's no sound at all. The plan was to have sound, but obviously kind of turn the game volume down, but so you can still hear it with my voice over the top, but didn't quite go that way. But yeah, still new to YouTube as well as iRacing, so lots to learn. If you do like this video, please hit the thumbs up, drop a comment. If you subscribe, that would help me massively, just a motivation to keep this going. And yeah, hopefully keep improving, and maybe get to actually jump into a race or two. But yeah, the next video I have planned is going to be my first AI race. Who knows how that will go? I have no idea. But yeah, that'll be the next video. So yeah, hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for that one. But yeah, until then, I will see you on the next video, hopefully. Thanks.